Hi, everybody. I'm Brittany Lewis, a breaking news reporter here at Forbes. Joining me once again is former Congressman Brad Carson. He's the president of Americans for Responsible Innovation and the founder of Public First Action PAC. Congressman, thank you so much for joining me.
My honor to be with you today.
There is a big update in the battle between Anthropic and the Department of War, and I really want to get your take on it because the AI company and the Pentagon have been ensnared now in a weeks-long fight over how the military can use Anthropic's technology. And they couldn't reach an agreement, so the Department of War Secretary Pete Hegseth, he ultimately designated Anthropic a supply chain risk to national security, and President Trump banned federal agencies from using it. And Anthropic just now sued the Trump administration over all of that. So to start off the conversation, what do you make of the news?
It's no surprise. The company had said they were going to sue the Trump administration. I think most legal scholars believe that Anthropic has a very strong case here, that the supply chain risk designation is in fact a great overstep from the federal government. That SCR designation, to use the acronym for it, is usually reserved for companies like Kaspersky Labs, the Russian cybersecurity outfit, Huawei, the Chinese IT company. To designate an American really technological leader like Anthropic as an SCR is unprecedented and will almost certainly not hold up in court.
Talk about how we got here. I really think it would be in everyone's best interest to run through a timeline of the relationship between Anthropic and the Department of War. Because last year, the AI company secured a multi-million-dollar contract with the War Department, but they wanted to put in place some guardrails over how the military can use their technology, including ensuring it's not used to make autonomous weapons or it's not used to mass surveil Americans. And then the Pentagon wanted to be able to use Anthropic for, quote, all lawful purposes. Then, ultimately, there wasn't a deal. Anthropic had those guardrails in place. The Pentagon didn't agree to them. The Trump administration wasn't happy with those stipulations, and President Trump posted this: "The United States of America will never allow a radical left woke company to dictate how our great military fights and wins wars." And he directed every federal agency to stop using Anthropic immediately, and he gave the Department of War a 6-month phase-out period. Then War Secretary Hegseth, he designated Anthropic a supply chain risk. Anthropic then argued that the federal government waged an unlawful campaign of retaliation against the company. You said this was a strong argument. Talk to us about why.
Well, I think a couple of things. Every company should have the right to do business with the government or not, right? You have the choice not to participate at all. And so to be designated a supply chain risk, they basically try to murder the company, to use a phrase a lot of people in this space are talking about. So it really makes no sense. Supply chain risk has a designated legal application, and it is the foreign companies that do actually present national security risks. I don't think anyone argues that Anthropic has a national security risk to us. And so I do think in a lot of ways it's retaliation against the company for a lot of actions that the Trump administration hasn't liked, from arguing for AI guardrails as an example, to perhaps hiring people from the Biden administration, to now wanting these two very commonsensical guardrails that the Department of War has decided they don't want to abide by.